First, though, we're going to start things off a little differently this week. I realized I've been spending all this time writing up these stories, but why? We could just look them up online. And it seems like we ought to cover Alice in Wonderland, so let's just fire up the web browser and see what Alice's Wikipedia page says. So we have here Alice in Wonderland from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. And then there's a little warning. It says, this article, like most of the crap here on the internet, is full of unverified baloney that is barely more accurate than the scandalous meme your cousin posted showing Robin Hood at an ATM with a 7-figure bank balance. But feel free to tell your friends about everything you read here as if you saw it on 60 Minutes, because frankly, we don't give a rip. So on we go. Alice Johnson, born October 8th, 1954, better known as Alice in Wonderland, is a ditzy literary character created by Lewis Carroll or Charles Dickens or one of those other famous British authors. You've never actually read the books, so don't even try to pretend because nobody will believe you. Also, be warned, if you try to dress up like Alice for Halloween, you'll probably end up looking like a milkmaid or maybe a character from Little House on the Prairie. Now we have the section Visit to Wonderland. Bored out of her mind after spending the afternoon with her annoying sister, Alice finds her way to Wonderland, an area about 30 miles west of Topeka. She arrives there in the standard fashion, following a talking rabbit down his hole, downing a beverage that shrinks her to a fraction of normal size, and then slipping through a keyhole that doubles as Wonderland customs. In the process, she also encounters some special cookies that instantly make you enormous. Those are called Oreos. More on them later. Stop number 1 on the Wonderland tour is a caucus race directed by a dodo bird, where everyone runs around in a circle for hours, sorry, there's no passing, and nobody wins. This is an excellent activity for people who have not yet mastered the finer points of Duck, Duck, Goose. After taking a wrong turn down pit road, Alice eventually decides she's had enough of this stupid race and heads on her way. She soon meets up with a hookah-smoking caterpillar and later encounters a Cheshire Cat. Here at Wikipedia, we have no idea what a Cheshire Cat actually is, but we bet that seeing it had something to do with Alice hitting the hookah. The next stop on Alice's trip is a rendezvous with Tweedledee and Tweedledum, two boneheads who seem destined to be contestants on The Gong Show. They apparently enjoy poetry, at least if it involves walruses and/or carpenters. At this point, Alice needs a break, so she joins up with a nutjob Mad Hatter, a different talking rabbit, and a wasted dormouse for a quick tea party. These three make that stoner caterpillar from earlier seem pretty normal. Alice also barfs after riding the spinning teacups. Alice elects to wrap up her day with a quick game of croquet. Wonderland Croquet Supply must have recently gone out of business, though, since this particular game features flamingos for mallets and a variety of hedgehogs in the place of balls. Basically, we're talking about an advanced version of whack-a-mole. For an opponent, Alice draws the Queen of Hearts, who is pretty much Henry VIII, except with a shorter temper and more beheading equipment. Alice would be wise to not actually, win. We now have the section Trial and Escape. Croquet completed, most people would head home and call it a day. Alice, however, gets waylaid when she gets herself put on trial for something or other. In a bold defense plan, she employs the time-honored legal strategy of eating Oreos until she's about a mile tall, then waking up and discovering that the whole thing was a nightmare. She later claims she learned this technique from an episode of The People's Court with Judge Wapner. So that wraps up the page. There are external links if you want to follow them to the Wonderland Tourism Bureau, to OK Croquet Monthly, and the Twitter page for the_real_Tweedledum. Looks like he's verified, has a blue check mark. Also, categories include people who talk to caterpillars, disappearing cats, and milkmaid costumes. So feel free to check on any of that stuff. That was very enlightening indeed. You just can't go wrong doing your research online. We'll get some more accurate information when we check out the news next.